News Hour. My name is Shirley Annan.
And my name is Mavis Ofe Echampong. In our very first story, the Accra High Court, presided over by the Justice Barbara Tetechawe, has ordered lawyers for the Electoral Commission and the All People's Party (APC) to file their statement of case in the suit seeking to quash the disqualification of Hassan Ayariga as a presidential candidate. Justice Tetechawe has given both parties up to Friday the 28th of this month to file the documents, after which they will return to the court on Monday 31st to give oral submissions. The court will then set a date for ruling on the case.
The founder and flag bearer of the APC, Mr. Hassan Ayariga, is challenging his disqualification from the presidential race by the EC. He is accordingly praying the court to quash the decision and give him the opportunity to contest as a presidential candidate in this year's general election. Mr. Ayariga is also seeking a declaration that under CI 94, the EC can only proceed to disqualify a candidate after it has notified him of an invalidity and he fails to amend.
The independent presidential candidate Mr. Jacob Osei-Yeboah has charged Christians to take the lead in the crusade for peaceful elections in December, since Christianity is about peace. Mr. Yeboah was addressing members of the Efidiase and Asokore circuit of the Methodist Church at Kofodia in the Eastern region.
Members of the Efidiase and Asokore circuits of the Methodist Church were climaxing their week-long prophetic convention, which was under the theme, "You Shall Receive Power." Representatives of some political parties and the independent presidential candidate, Mr. Jacob Osei-Yeboah, joined the congregation to pray for the nation. The NDC parliamentary candidate for New Drabin North, Mr. Haruna Apew-Redu, said politics is about expression of opinions and not insults. The independent presidential candidate, Mr. Jacob Osei-Yeboah, asked Ghanaians to uphold peace at all times.
Throughout our campaign tours, what everybody is saying is that there will be peace. God will let peace prevail in Ghana.
So we nyame ba dia na nyame ehwehwe bibi afiri ho se ye nya obi a ye be nam no so ama asundua ba fa wonse si obo na kase meme die mafam no mama asundua de aba se ye boya dunu mu po na se ye sa oman ye be de ye bakoya nim adia ehame ene se vetina na bo say yes we free sika na ntimi ma say ba radio fie na say nya sika ma entokwaba na say ya fa yem bag any wona wonyem wontimi nante wona wa won kola wodi wo moko office de ba de na batu ya wo man sasudie ni baba ejina wo kokromoti hallelujah adurumra wasa nyame ma amayani ebie nyame ma ye tena se ne ka se yen na awrade benam yeso ede asodue aba.
The prophetic convention was characterized by intercessory prayers for the youth, the Electoral Commission, political parties and candidates, the security service, traditional authorities, and the nation as a whole.
President John Mahama has refuted claims by the NPP that the National Health Insurance Scheme is collapsing. Leading the NDC campaign in the Eastern region, Mr. Mahama said applying falsehood to win power at all costs would not work for the opposition NPP. Addressing a mini rally at Kede, Mr. Mahama said If it was true that the NHRS was not working, the number of hospitals visitation by NHRS cardholders would not be increasing.
President John Mahama has stormed the Eastern region and vigorously campaigning there. It is one of the two regions that the opposition MPP has consistently won out of Ghana's 10 regions. In chasing the dream of sharing the spoils this time around, President John Mahama and the NDC have multiplied their activities in what promises to be a hot contest in the Eastern region. But the NDC is optimistic of pulling a surprise there. This is Kade, where the president started his campaign in the region. The governing NDC has been garnering an average of 41% of votes in the Eastern region since 2004. Some analysts say the NDC will need between 80 and 100,000 additional votes to be able to achieve its Agenda 50-50 in the Eastern region.
Na MRP no say it drew election time na amanyoko bia epre nti ne obeka bia ama nipa akoma dane ama o eno na obeka nti entra now the firm no kra now the firm ya the frefra no kra no ho yenka na ya the intro firm na yede yenim se nyame a ohata sori onu no nim ne ye nokre ene ne ye ntro onu so no hu bibia a ejuma ya ye nyame ehu ejuma ya ye ejuma pa ya ye na minim se enfie nan edua ye fro no edua pa enti yasa bagana fo ho ombe piaye ama yetimi afrodua no na empontu a ya shase a ye no yetimi atoaso na yewie.
President John Mahama said the Youth Employment Agency will employ additional 400,000 youth into several training modules. He also commented about the National Health Insurance Scheme.
Nanui yenuanom say NHS egu na nyame kan say NHS egu a adan na mo amoye MPP4 mo etwa NHS card emma mo nkrofo say djuma na gu a ene card no ehun fa so ne den adan na wo tua NHS card free emma nkrofo say egu enti jai card no ma ni abane say NHS no atre yesha say no 2005 and yesha say by 2008 nipa call hospital ye 9 million pay 2015 afi atwam nipa call hospital ye 29 million.
Still on Kede, the president said the systematic improvement in town rules in the country will be extended to Kede in due course. Already, a bad road from Adesu through Asamankase is being resurfaced under the Cocoa Rules Improvement Program. He said the only way the electorate in the Eastern region can show appreciation for work done in the region by the NDC is to vote massively for him and the party's parliamentary candidates. Napoleon Atukito, the Eastern region.
Inaugurated the 15 Community Day Senior High School in the country. This latest Community Day SHS is at Takrase in the Denchemboa district of the Eastern region. At the ceremony, he announced that 42 of the module schools have been completed, awaiting inauguration. Mr. Mama also revealed that by the close of the year, 70 will be ready and handed over for use. Napoleon Atikito reports.
At the last elections, the NDC argued that the most pressing issue in secondary education in Ghana was inadequate infrastructure for the uptake of large numbers from the lower tier. The party said while it takes pains to construct more schools to absorb the huge backlog of students, it will put free education on a scale that unfurls progressively. Enter the Mahama model schools, called the Community Day Senior High Schools, most of which are located in remote, deprived areas of the country. The one at Takoradi in the Kede constituency of the Eastern region is a case in point, as they will be aided by new school buses and the location proximity of school. The spectre of long walk by school children to sparsely dispersed schools is expected to minimize. In the case of Takoradi, these have been the structures which accommodated the students. The difference between the previous and the present situations is one of the factors which informed the current slogan of the NDC, Changing Lives, Transforming Ghana. The chief of Takoradi, Osaberima Owusu-Nketia, praised government and called the president a true patriot. The president said on his part that he urges the traditional authorities and the communities in which the schools are located to see to their proper functioning and maintenance.
Additionally, Western wako school when you say nimdieno, and yadia obi ebetimia efri ne hobio. Wosika am Robert Simi to go so eje ukutaka utimi de kopem eseno. And your ma a chance bro for friend of material things yadia ubetimia ahwere. And so nya a year intangible a year addition any nimdie a yadia odija oba se japadia ajiso wo yadenishe forma asana sa nimdie na infinitim enti abrofo say knowledge is power.
The president said by the time he leaves office in 2021, granted he was re-elected this year, all the 200 community day senior high schools would have been completed. He said creating access to education has correlation with literacy rate and development. Napoleon Atukito reporting.
In Cape Coast, Vice President Kwesi Arthur has described the NPP's 2016 manifesto as over-ambitious and about 72 billion Ghana cedis will be needed to implement it. To the Vice President, this will throw the economy out of gear and erode the gains made so far. He said the manifesto is a pack of unrealistic goals aimed at wooing electorates to vote for the opposition. Mr. Arthur's critique of the NPP was at the University of Cape Coast, where he delivered an academic lecture on the political economy of Ghana.
Under the auspices of the Department of Economics of the University of Cape Coast, various academically stimulating lectures are held, and that which was given by the astute economist and Vice President Kwesi Arthur was on Ghana's political economy with a sharp focus on its development challenge.
The priority of our government, the priority of the NDC, is to create infrastructure. And I'm saying that it is grounded in economic theory, that it is important for the development of our economy that we create infrastructure, we create social overhead capital that will help to improve the capacity of our economy for the future. Because, as you know, infrastructure also lasts a long time. If you build a good road like the Accra-Tema motorway, it lasts 50 years and it still produces services for a lot of people.
Delving deep into the macroeconomies under both NDC and MPP, Mr. Arthur said fiscal deficit had reduced phenomenally from 2012 to 2015, even as pro-poor programs and projects are implemented.
We had 32 months of single-digit inflation. Not one comment about that. We had in 2011 the highest growth in the world. No commendation about that. So all the things that have happened, even the physical manifestation in our cities of major developmental projects, they deny. So it's as if facts don't matter. It's what I write that you should read. I don't think that that is the way in which we can discuss the progress of our economy.
He said the One District $1 million and several other projects stated in the NPP manifesto, will cost some 72 billion Ghana cedis.
There's some very populist policies. Reduce the corporate tax rates, abolish this tax, do this thing, and each one of them has some consequence in terms of national revenue. And so they are giving up revenues that Parliament has approved that we are collecting now in the order of magnitude of 6.2 billion Ghana cedis if we calculate it using 2016 as a base year. So this year, if they were implementing their budget, they will give up 6.2 billion Ghana cedis of revenue. Fine. I would then expect that you look for some compensating expenditures that you then take out to balance the 6.2 revenue that you've given up. But rather than compensate, they say that they will improve the efficiency of tax collection in order to make up for the revenue loss. You hear that all the time. Nobody is able in 1 year to make that kind of adjustment that generates that additional revenue.
Vice President Emisa Arthur said, if the local economy should be managed with the dictates of the NPP manifesto today, the economy would be plunged into an irrecoverable abyss. Hence, his party holds a more credible, realistic development plan for Ghana. Nto Bibiningto, GBC24, Cape Coast.
The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akufo-Addo, has appealed to the people of the Volta region to help consolidate the wind of change that is likely to be experienced in the upcoming general elections by voting for the party. Nana made the appeal on the third day of his campaign tour of the region.
Day 3 of the MPP's campaign tour of the Volta region took the team to Pasa in the Nkwanta North district. They paid a courtesy call on the traditional authority of the area to announce their presence and seek the support of the people. The campaign team was met by enthusiastic supporters who were chanting party slogans and making a sign for change. At a mini rally, the MPP presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo urged the people to vote for the MPP for a brighter future.
Fourth Republic, 1992. They see there, the only constituency, extra MPP, and the Nkwanta North.
The itinerary included a stop at Nkwanta South District of the Volta region, where the flag bearer was expected to address a rally.
Meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party has outlined its policy agenda for the energy sector should they be elected come December 7. Addressing a news conference in Accra, the head of the Manifesto Committee and policy advisor, Mr. Boachi Ejako, said the MPP will put into force a 10-year power master plan to ensure that the supply of power is on a reliable and sustainable basis. Key among them is the expansion of electricity coverage from 64% to 90%.
The New Patriotic Party MPP in a press conference specifically on the energy sector said Ghana's economy requires a sustainable energy to flourish. Mr. Boachi Ejako said the party is predicting another energy crisis as demand of power will exceed supply after the December polls.
There is increased uncertainty about the future stability of power supply under the NDC government, and many businesses and residential consumers of electricity are justifiably afraid that Dumso will come back if the NDC is retained in power. This view is further justified by information available to us that there will be a resumption of load shedding immediately after the elections are over. Gas supply from Nigeria stopped since June this year and may not be resumed soon due to government's failure to pay outstanding debts in excess of 160 million US dollars. We are therefore estimating that Ghana will experience up to 700 megawatts of power shortage early next year. The direct consequence of this is load shedding.
A policy advisor of the MPP campaign team, Boachi Ejaku, bemoaned the fact that Ghana has the highest tariff rate in West Africa, a situation that does not augur well for trade and industry. The party promised to develop a modern and efficient power sector which is affordable.
The vision of the MPP, on the other hand, for the energy sector is to develop a modern, diversified, efficient, and financially sustainable energy economy that will ensure that all Ghanaian homes and industries have access to adequate, reliable, affordable, and environmentally sustainable supply of energy to meet their needs and to support the accelerated growth and development agenda we have envisaged for the country.
He said the MPP will put in place a sustainable solution to the gas supply challenges. It disclosed that gas supply will boom with a negotiation deal with Nigeria and WAPCO.
Nana Akufo-Addo will fully utilize the goodwill we expect to have with the Buhari government to negotiate with the federal government of Nigeria and WAPCO for resumption of gas supplies. The NDC government has proven incapable of negotiating a deal with Nigeria and WAPCO over 2 years now.
It's news on your own news channel, GBC24 and GTV. We go for a quick break.
Have brought the change in money transforming Ghana campaign to the Brongahafo region, and it was a sight for sore eyes. For 4 days, the people of the region were consumed with rapturous festivity as His Excellency John Mahama, with his wife by his side, toured the Brongahafo region with his 2016 re-election campaign. JM's campaign tour made stops at Yeji, Prang, Bassa, Duang, Amanting, and Sunyani, where he graced the National Best Teacher Award ceremony. Then to Bechem, Dwayao in Kwanta, Abesim, Longoro, Kintampo, Jema, Businya, and Techiman, where JM and his entourage was swarmed by a massive crowd of supporters at what was dubbed the mother of all rallies. An exhibition of the people's readiness to vote massively to keep JM and the NDC in power. And the general consensus again was JM.
Thanks for staying on. Now do some business news now. The 5th edition of the AGI Local Content and Investment Summit is underway in Accra. The focus is to develop the local content of the country, the decision that must be taken, and how to position local companies strategically to take full advantage of growing sectors of telecommunications, mining, oil and gas, among others.
Local content gained momentum in Ghana when the country discovered oil in commercial quantities at the Jubilee Fields in 2007. But after almost 3 years since the passage of the Petroleum Local Content Law, Ghanaian companies are yet to actively participate in the oil and gas sector. Similar situation can be said about the extractive sector of the country, which has been utilized in the last 100 years. Mindful of this, the AGI has instituted the AGI Local Content and Investment Summit to prop up the development of local content and investment in the country. The summit is a key platform that brings together multinationals, major contractors and SMEs from the various targeted sectors to learn about opportunities and challenges within local content development, learn from success stories, engage major buyers in direct business-to-business interactions, meet key decision makers within these major companies, and expand business relations, among others. The president of the AGI, James Asareje, said, though there are laws to promote local content in the country, local companies are unable to take advantage of it due to the lack of capacity to meet the requirements of the sector.
The recent discoveries of giant oil and gas fields can create tremendous opportunities for stimulating national development. However, the potential for oil and gas to drive the economy positively for the well-being of Ghanaians will only be realized if this rapidly developing sector is fully integrated into the local economy.
The Vice President of the Public Interest Accountability Committee, Kwame Jantua, said Ghana need more than just laws to promote local content.
We need a lead from the leaders of this country to put certain things in place. We need the banks to be able to give the kind of loans where the interest rates are attractive and appreciable. We need to be able to build the capacities within our companies. Even if there is a small number of companies, we can build them up so that others will take over.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ni Osamuel, said the government has rolled out a number of policies that will position local businesses to take advantage of the various opportunities in the extractive sector.
The extent to which resource-affected communities actually benefit from the changes brought about by local content interventions will depend on their capacity to take up the opportunities that pop up from time to time. Even though significant efforts have been made by government to ensure the implementation of local content in the mining sector, the industry is still challenged by a number of issues, notably limited linkages between the mining sector and the rest of the economy and lack of capacity to take advantage of local content opportunities, among others.
This is the 5th edition of the AGI's Local Content and Investment Summit, and the theme is The Journey So Far. An assessment done by the AGI shows that though the journey has not been easy, some strides have been made, but more needs to be done.
The Chief Executive of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, James Zugatiga, is optimistic Ghana can increase non-traditional export revenue to $10 billion by 2019. This is double the $5 billion target set in the country's export strategy by 2017. Mr. Ziga's optimism is founded on the coming on board of the Ghana Exim Bank. On the interbank market, the cedi gained 3 pesos against the pound sterling to trade at 4 cedis 81 pesos. The dollar, on the other hand, is selling at 3 cedis 97 pesos, just as it sold yesterday. The euro is trading at 4 cedis 30 pesos. We are doing some insurance news now. An insurance policy can be complex and technical to the ordinary man seeking to buy an insurance product. At the point of making a claim, one's ignorance of the term and conditions of an insurance policy can play to his disadvantage. The Ghana Insurance Brokers Association is therefore calling on Ghanaians to seek the service of an insurance broker before they sign on to any insurance policy. An insurance broker is a specialist in insurance business and acts on behalf of the client.
In some jurisdictions, especially in developed economies, one can hardly buy any insurance product without the input of an insurance broker. But this is not the case in Ghana, and this has contributed to the wrong perception that insurers are out there to take advantage of clients. Among other responsibilities, insurance brokers exist to assist the clients to get genuine claims promptly and to negotiate terms upon renewal of policies. Just as a lawyer speaks for his client in court, the broker serves as a mediator between the insurance company and the insured in times of misunderstandings.
If you go to the insurance company yourself directly, the insurance company is going to deal with you like any other client. They'll give you a price, they'll give you a cover. You as an outsider would not know how right or wrong the price is. You will not know how adequate the cover they have given you is. And when there's a loss and they tell you that they won't pay, you do not have the knowledge to challenge it. The agent, on the other hand, is an extension of the insurance company because he's an agent of the insurance company. So they would definitely not fight for you, the client, against their principal. It is only the broker who is an agent of the client who would ensure that you get the best premium, you get the right cover, and when there's a loss, you get the loss settled.
So per your experience, do you feel that sometimes some insurance companies want to ride on the ignorance of the insured and take advantage of them?
A lot. It happens a lot.
Why do you say that?
Because we see it every day. We see how much clients are charged. Sometimes they are charged in excess of what they are supposed to be charged. We see the covers that they give them. You give the cover with your right hand and take it back with the left hand. Virtually, there's nothing being covered.
For these and other reasons, the Ghana Insurance Brokers Association had a dialogue with the media to help in its drive to educate the public. The president of the association, Nathan Edu, urged the public to beware of insurance companies who promise lower premiums than what persists on the market.
Let's say motor insurance third party. The least you can pay is about 200 Ghana cedis now. So if anybody is offering you something lower than that, be careful.
The Ghana Insurance Brokers Association say their services do not come at a cost to the insured as they are paid by the insurance companies.
That will be all for the business segment. Nurses at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital have threatened to down their tools on Monday, October 31, 2016, if government and stakeholders do not supply basic logistics needed for the facility to function. The nurses are currently on a sit-down strike.
In recent times, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital has been in the news for its numerous challenges, including inadequate logistics and shortages of essential medicine, as well as increments in some services rendered to patients. A visit by GBC24 to the facility reveals that the male ward, which has a bed capacity of 80, is now housing about 150 inmates, with 4 persons sharing a room instead of 2. However, the situation at female ward is different. It has a 30-bed capacity but currently houses 20 inmates because the facility has been adopted by some benevolent organizations. According to an executive member of the Accra Psychiatric Nurses, Frederick Asaridonko, who spoke off camera, the nurses lack basic amenities to work with, and these include essential medicines, gloves, detergents, food and other consumables. He said a nurse was recently attacked by a patient because they had no medication to calm him down. The nurse is currently receiving treatment. The director of the hospital, Dr. Pinaman Apel, pleaded with government and stakeholders to come to their aid.
We work with gloves, we work with stationery, we work with syringes and all those things. If we don't have them, how do we do the work? And that's our basic issue here, all right? What's the plan? We don't have these issues. We don't have these consumables. I can't, like they keep telling us, safety is not, you can't compromise someone's safety.
The Australian High Commissioner, Andrews Barnes, and the President of the Mental Health Foundation of Ghana paid a visit to the hospital. The High Commissioner expressed shock at the conditions of the inmates and urged nurses to give off their best. He also psychiatric nurses, especially women, to apply for scholarships available to them to enhance service delivery.
One of the forensic medical psychiatry
wards here, which is really overcrowded. There's not enough funding for basic food, medication, and even simple things like cleaning agents, which are, of course, very important for hospitals to keep infections down. So coming here is, my intention is to help raise awareness of the plight of funding for mental health, not just in Ghana, but all countries.
Hospital authorities say the absence of a legislative instrument makes it difficult to execute mental health activities. They urge the general public not to stigmatize people living with mental health issues.
74-year-old Madam AC has been diagnosed with multiple uterine fibroid and ovarian cysts. She needs 3,000 Ghana cedis to undergo surgery. Madam AC is appealing to the public to help her raise the money for the medical procedure.
Some years now, Madam Esi Atawunya has been experiencing severe abdominal pains. Due to her condition, doctors say she needs 3,000 Ghana cedis to undergo surgery at the National Catholic Health Service at Bato in the Volta region.
I am pleading with the general public to come to my aid. Doctors say I must undergo surgery in order to be free from the unbearable pain.
3,000 Ghana cedi in operation Bato Hospital. Madam Atawunya is appealing to the general public, benevolent organizations, and individuals for assistance. Donations can be sent through mobile money on telephone number 0279 846 364.
The 2016-2017 Premier League season will start on the 18th of December. Registration of players will take place during the first transfer week, opening on November 14th and runs on 13th February 2017. The commencement of the Ghana Premier League will be preceded by a super clash between the winners of the league and the FA Cup champions on December 4th. Premier League champions Wild Stars will face MTN FA Cup winners Bechim United.
Tornado was beaten, the chasing was coming in, but he was clinical up front. Cosmos Dada on his left foot.
The FA Cup committee has announced nominations for the 2015-2016 MTN FA Cup award ceremony. 4 players will be gunning for the topmost award for the ceremony, which will be held next month. The players of the season will be a contest between Gideon Wacha from Wafa, Akutu Danso, Kuku United, Latif Blessing, Liberty Professionals, Yawano from Bechim United. Defender of the season will be a battle between Alfred Nelson from Bechim United, Daniel Ejin from Hazakes, and Kadri Mohamed from Ashgold. The top scorer will go for Yao Ano from Bechim United. Promising player has Asempa Prince from Bechim United, Akutu Danso, Kuku United, and Abbas Mohamed from Kuku United. The goalkeepers of the season, or goalkeeper of the season, Asempa Prince, Bechim United, and Abbas Mohamed, Kuku United. Coach of the season, Manuel Zacharias of Bechim United, Ibrahim Mariga of Kuku United, George Lamte, Liberty Professionals, and JK Fusu Wa Rockets. That's all for sports.
Good evening, time for some art news. My name is Valerie Danso. Playing an instrument live can be a tedious act, but with passion, it is a rewarding profession. Akwesi Boateng is a drama composer and the leader of the revived version music group. Here are highlights of an earlier interview about the highs and lows of being a drummer here in Ghana. Akwesi Boateng said he noticed he had an interest in drumming when he was just a little boy.
If I'm not mistaken, to be 7 years.
7?
7 years, yes. But I started way back at my mom's church.
Okay.
I wasn't even having the opportunity to play. You know, you have to go to school and blah blah blah.
You need to do all of
I want to play, and they won't give me a chance to play.
He has played with renowned musicians across Ghana.
Amaziba.
Okay.
Nadbro is my first artist.
Okay.
And I've played. I'm still playing with him.
Okay.
And we've traveled so many countries, and Juju Ambule too, then Pat Thomas. We're talking about the high life.
The revived version band is made up of seasoned instrumentalists.
Putting good music together, you need stops. You need people like that to support you so that you can build a good music up. But if you don't have such people around you, you might be the best, but you can't
come out well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to back up people.
We talked about artists complaining about the high cost of using a live band for events and shows.
Yeah, outside there, they do pay you well. But Ghana here, like, I don't know, the artist himself will tell you, oh, Scaniswao, Charlie Brabe. You know, you don't have manager, you know, you don't have all that stuff. That was those times.
Back then.
Yeah, so it will be difficult for you to get money. Or you even be proud of yourself, you call yourself a drummer.
The revived version band charges between 5,000 Ghana cedis and 10,000 Ghana cedis per show. That's all in this segment. Have a good evening.
Thank you for watching News Hour on GBC24, and GTV News tonight is at 10:30. Please make a date.
Thanks for watching.